Waterville Valley Board of Selectmen meeting. As Vice Chair of the Board of Selectmen, due to the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis and in accordance with Governor Sununu's Emergency Order Number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this board is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to the meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that we are A, providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are utilizing the Zoom platform for this electronic meeting. All members of the board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through the Zoom platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen by accessing the town YouTube channel at the following website address: www.youtube.com/channel/ a lot of letters and numbers. And if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the following phone number: 603-236-4730, or emailing townofwv@watervalley.org, or texting to 603-254-6708. We previously gave notice to the public on how to access the meeting using Zoom, and instructions are provided in the Town of Waterville Valley website at www.watervillevalley.org. If anyone has a problem, please call 603-236-4730 or email at townofwv@watervillevalley.org. Okay, I believe that, oh yes, and all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, also please state whether there's anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. So this is Rich Rita, Vice Chair, and I am alone.
Mike Aronson alone.
Okay, let me pull up the agenda, I guess. Mark, do you want to?
Yeah, first item is review of the minutes. You have the June 1st special meeting and the June 10th regular meeting.
Right. Did you want to do the COVID-19?
Yeah, let's talk about COVID first. So I'm going to turn it right over to Chris. So far, numbers look good statewide, still trending level or down. Still social distancing and wearing masks are the order of the day. So Chris, you have other updates?
I do, and thank you. Although the numbers in the state are trending down overall, there are a couple new cases in our area. I will say the Plymouth area in general. I think it's important that everybody know, and they said it yesterday in the press conference, that the contact tracing in these positive cases are very important for stats and tracing. So I just want to reiterate to people that it's very important that if you do get a call from DHHS, to return the call and be as thorough as you can in your answers and as accurate as you can in your answers as far as contact tracing is concerned. They're having a hard time getting people to cooperate in this, and it's only good for all of us that if you're accurate and timely in your response. So with a very few new cases around our general area, it's very important that if you do get that call that you respond appropriately. Other than that, everything is pretty much status quo as far as COVID's concerned. We're getting a lot of good feedback from businesses as far as cooperation. And I personally see things slowly recuperating from as slow as it was earlier this spring. So that's a good sign. And that's all I have.
Yeah, I was at the post office today. Everyone is doing well over there and wearing masks, going in two at a time. People seem to be very cooperative, so that's good.
Okay, is that it with the COVID update? Okay, then let me turn now to the first privilege of the floor. Anything, text, email, call-in?
Nothing at this time. If anyone wants to, is the duty cell out there, Chris? Yep, so you can call 254-6708 or 236-4730 if you have any input for the meeting.
Okay, the next agenda item is review and approve minutes. Let's start with the 1 June 2020 special meeting. I have a handful of very minor ones I'd like to dispose of now if I could. Mike, do you have anything?
I've got some minor ones that I'd rather just give to Sharon, but I do have one question.
How about it?
On line 75, it talks about the additional costs of, this deals with camp and rec programs. It talks about the cost of porta potties being $10K. Does that include the tent in that $10K, or are we just getting really expensive porta potties?
No, it's the tent, right, Sandra? It includes the tent.
That includes everything, the tent and the porta potty rental for the duration of the summer.
Okay, and how long are we gonna have the tent for?
The tent, we will have, well, the tent was more expensive, so that's going to be delivered the first, I'm sorry, the porta potties are being delivered the first day of camp for 7 weeks. It's going to be delivered just before the start of camp.
Okay, and are there gonna be tables and things in the tent, tables and chairs and things like that?
The tables and chairs will be kept in the shed at Packard's Field, and the porta potties will be locked at the end of each camp day, unlocked at the beginning. So all that stuff will only be accessible to the camps, and not to any of any public.
So the tent will be enclosed, it won't have sides, it will have sides? I'm just wondering if people are gonna be using the tent when you guys aren't, or we're gonna have to watch to see if people are using it and stuff.
Right. I guess in the evenings when we're not using it, then there's not going to be sides, so people could potentially sit under there.
Yeah.
I mean, we could put
Yeah,
some.
the question I have is if there are tables and chairs and things in there where people can come and sit and picnic, how do we keep it clean and how do we keep it?
No, those tables and chairs will only be there for the camp day when
Okay.
staff is supervising it, and those will be put away in the evenings and on the weekends.
Thank you.
Mike, I think that's a good idea. And we definitely, Sandra, need to make a note to have signage out there that that's just for camps, and make sure that we try to minimize the other than camp use of the area.
Right, I agree.
Jim, if you could just let Sharon know that we are getting some input off of the chat function on the YouTube channel.
Got it. I don't.
Anything else, Mike?
Just spelling and grammar things. Little ones.
Okay, same, I can wait as well. I'll get them to Sharon by Friday morning, no later than that.
So
Okay.
Rich,
Yeah.
we will make the change on line 75 that'll be porta potties and
And
tent.
tents, got it.
Okay.
Okay. And again, I'm assuming there's no philosophical debate about changing Packard's apostrophe S to Packard on line 69.
Well, we will make it Packard Field.
Yeah, all right. Very good. So could I have a motion, Mike, to approve the minutes as amended for the 6/1/2020?
Yes, I will make that motion.
I will second that motion. This is Rich. I am in favor.
Mike in favor.
Okay. Let me move now to the minutes of the Board of on the 10th of June. Mike, anything you'd like to change
No.
there?
No, just a couple of spelling and grammar.
Okay. I have literally just 3, so let me dispose of them now if I could, if Sharon's available.
Go ahead, Rich.
Okey doke, line 38, you just need to change it from accustomed to accustomed, ED.
Cool.
Line 89, change as to that.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if this is correct, but do we mean pump tests, not pumps test?
Correct.
And lastly, I would just remove in line 173, the very beginning where it says town funding.
Okay.
And that is all I have. So, Mike, would you care to move to approve the meeting, the minutes as amended?
I so move. Mike,
And this is Rich. I second that motion. And this is Rich again. I vote in favor of that motion.
Mike in favor.
Very good. Okay, so that leads us to the financial report, and over to you, Mark. You're on mute. You're on mute. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I should be more professional than that. I forgot, as I told you in your packet, the calendar review. Do you
Oh, yes.
do you have weeks in July and August when you are not available?
Let's see. For me, the only probably unavailable week would be the week of 20 July. Other than that, I'm pretty open July and August. Perhaps you want to do it something like the 15th or something in July, just to give Margaret a chance to reappear.
Yeah, Mike, what's your schedule?
Are we gonna go to one meeting in July, one meeting in August?
One meeting in July, and then we'll pick another week to do the
Yeah.
COVID.
All right, middle of the month makes sense unless we have an emergency. So,
Okay, so we'll tentatively plan the 15th for the Selectmen's meeting and the 29th for the COVID update. And
Or we can do COVID updates as needed if things progress, things change.
yeah, okay, and yeah, we'll decide whether or not to do the update on that week. All right, so 7/15 will be your July meeting, and what about August, Mike? Any preference or that
No,
you can't do? So we'll tentatively schedule the 12th. That splits the summer, if that's all right.
Sure.
So 7/15, 8/12. Okay. Mike dropped off. So do you want to stand by, Rich, because you lost your quorum?
I guess the answer is yes.
Well,
Is the video.
you could be a benevolent dictator, I guess, and just take over.
Yeah, and this town? No, I don't think so.
There he is. All right. We got
Okay, we're back with a quorum.
oh,
Very
if I
good,
drop
okay.
out- If I drop out, we have to stop?
yeah, Mike. No, right. Bye.
Over to you, Mark.
All right. So you have the updated financial information. We are, there's a couple of things that I highlighted. The negatives in the recreation and parks under revenues are the reimbursements for the prior reservations that were made that we had to reduce the size of the camp programs. So that's
Have
why.
have we refunded all the money due people now?
No, I just signed a couple more. So there's a few left.
So approximately how much more?
I think the ones that I signed were maybe a few $100s, and I don't know, Sandra, if you have a feel for whether or not we've reached everybody now or not.
Yeah, we've reached everyone that was a COVID-related cancellation or a cancellation on our part.
Okay,
Where we had to. So anyone that is currently requesting a refund or cancellation falls under our normal summer camp refund policy. So I just had one yesterday for, 2 weeks of camp, but that falls under the normal cancellation policy. So we hold a 25% processing fee. So it's no longer full refunds.
okay, all right. So the short answer, Mike, is yes, we have done all the COVID-19. Yep.
All right, well, now that came up, do we want to look at this? Because say someone isn't a COVID exactly cancellation, but we're in such a weird world. How many people are we taking the 25% cancellation fee from? Are there a lot?
No, only one or two here and there. And that went out in the parent information packet that we sent out on June.
Yeah.
So
I'm just thinking that there might be, cascading COVID effect issues, meaning it might not be direct to COVID, but it might be just something that this and the dominoes have fallen where someone has to change their plans. So I think we might want to be more liberal with that refund policy.
We will be, I think we can be, Mike. The thing that we're doing is if it's a voluntary, which is our regular policy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just seeing
But
people
if it's
having
a
hard
COVID
times and difficulty making
right,
decisions.
I have had a few people reach out and say that they are unable to adhere to the 2-week quarantine self-assessment.
Yeah.
And I have refunded those in full.
Okay.
Because I prefer people say that they can't quarantine than come to camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, Mike?
On the expense side, or on the revenue side, the other item was the miscellaneous revenues now does include the insurance reimbursement for the wastewater treatment plant heating system. So we can hold that in miscellaneous revenues until we get some further information.
I would like to suggest on that, when I saw that, is that money gets put aside and designated for a heating system for that building. So we don't lose track of it, because we need it. It's an expenditure that we have to make, we're going to have to make. So if we could just put it to the side and know that that's our starting point for that fund. It's nothing we did at town meeting and nothing we put into a segregated account, but I think we should keep it acknowledged.
Yeah, we will have if that's all right, Rich, we'll put it on as an agenda item at the next meeting, and you can that vote specific to do that, and we'll establish that account and move it over.
Very good.
Okay. Other than that, any questions on expenditures? The medical line does include the state reimbursement of COVID-19 related expenses.
Is that the 1,500?
No, that's separate from the 5,800. We haven't received that yet. This was reimbursement for the special payments for public safety personnel. So that money has been put into that expense line. And that's why you see it as a negative expense. That's the only thing I had. We're tracking on all the lines. We're only ahead on the legal and in the wastewater department at this point in time. And nothing to be worried about at this point.
Okay. Anything else, Mark?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. So why don't we move on to the next agenda item, the department head reports. Since we've not heard anything from our Public Works Department, let's give them a chance to speak now. So over to you, Jim.
Usually that's a good thing if you don't hear from me, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess our big item is the trail project. I don't know if any of you have been down and taken a walk, but.
I have, yes.
Yeah, it's coming along quite well. We'll finish up the electrical conduit placement tomorrow. We'll finally hook into the transformer at Snowsbrook Condos. So that should be done tomorrow. We've got the travel surface material placement is at 95%. Loam will be going down this week. So I suspect that it looks like by Tuesday, we'll be 100% on the travel way, or close to 100%. So it means ditches, culverts, travel way materials, all that. So it should be rolled out and compacted. The transfer station, I just wanted to say that the monies that we collect, both down at the red shed and up in the transfer station, continue to be moving in a positive direction. So I think things are working out quite well right at the moment. So, and the cameras are working well. I know that several letters have been sent out to people who probably didn't know they needed to leave us a little bit of money. So, and the only other thing, I guess I see that I was going to talk a little bit about drought conditions and roadside mowing and stuff, but that we're kind of letting some areas grow a little bit more. We're not trying to mow them as much just because we don't want to lose them. So we're trying to let Packard stay up a little bit in the library and some areas in town on the roadside. So that's affecting the mowing a little bit. And the other thing that I think will make some people quite happy, the lights on the dam have been dimmed by 50%. So hopefully we get some positive feedback from that. And that,
Good.
unless you've got questions, that's about all I've got right now.
I'm good. Mike? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to Sandra and the rec department.
Yep, so we've been doing well. I know we talked about the boat season pass last meeting, and we have had 5 season passes, which I think last year we sold a total of 7, so we're up there. Outdoor pickleball has been open, you know, we've been trying to keep that available. Of course, it's been so hot this week, nobody's been accessing any of that, those outdoor courts. The parade, we're moving forward with the parade for the 4th. We do have an updated waiver for people to sign that they'll stay in their car and respect social distancing. And we did decide on a theme, which was heart of our community. So that seemed to be well received. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh, boats have been open 10 to 3 just this week. They started opening Sunday, and then they were open today, Wednesday as well. Those guys just got back in here. We have seen that pick up a little bit, the rentals, and we have had a lot of phone calls and questions asking when the boats are open and if people can use their freedom passes for that. So yeah, other than that, we're, you know, camp registration, we're still full. I have seen a little bit of movement on the wait list, people canceling like I referred to before for either they can't come into town to respect the quarantine, or they have changed their plans and whatnot. So numbers in all those camps are full. Camp orientation starts next week. So we're looking forward to that and getting this program ready to go. So parents have been very receptive to our plan and, you know, seem to be happy with everything that we've decided to move forward with.
Sandra, how's the reception of the app, and how is the institution of the app for the check-in and pickup going?
So I just finalized all of that this week, and the invitations went out to the parents. Everyone has seemed very happy with the app. The platform is very easy to use. And I think, you know, and I think, you know, the day and age that we're living in, people are I'm very happy to download an app and, can access it very easily. On our side, it made things a lot easier as well with the registration process. Everyone's information is right in the app, and the counselors will be able to access that information while they're here very easily. And it won't have to, deal with carrying around the binders and all that paperwork with them that gets wet or whatnot. So yeah, parents have seemed to really like it so far.
All right.
Great. Excellent. Everything sounds excellent in the rec department, as always. Mike, do you have anything? Okay, so Chris, it's up to you to bring it home for the department heads.
Okay, not a whole lot to report. We're starting to see our normal, getting back to our normal activity with our fire, EMS, and police calls. That's a good sign. We feel like we finally got a handle on the parking issues at the trailheads. We've been really enforcing just through community outreach the importance of not parking on the roads. Other than that, things are going very smoothly. That's about all I have, unless somebody has any specific questions.
Manpower, no issue.
No.
Andy, okay?
We'll provide an update.
Yeah.
Okay.
One other thing too is we brought it up last week during our COVID update. We're switching our community notification platform from Nixle to TIP 411. So the department will have its individual app that can be downloaded to provide, so that we can provide community notices, and that we can get feedback from the community as well, as far as tips or things they may have seen or questions or whatever. We're still in development stages for the apps. So there'll be an Apple app and an Android app. So that's going along. We will certainly run the Nixle and the TIP 411 simultaneously to start. But our first, when we unveil it, our first Nixle alert will be how to sign up for the TIP 411 app. So that's all good stuff.
Okay. Mike, anything? All righty, well, that concludes our department head report portion of the agenda. Let's now move on to new business. First thing on new business is the abatement request from Northern New England Telephone Operations, LLC, map 108, lot 40, address 8 Noon Peak Road. I did see the excellent report about what we should do. Mark?
Yeah, Emily, I thought Emily did a great job explaining it to you.
Yep.
Very happy. This is the first abatement that we've dealt with our new company, and I thought she did a good job. So do you have any questions or anything that you want to, any additional information that you might need or anything like that?
Yeah, I agree. I think she did an excellent job documenting her thought.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yep.
Okay, so do we need a motion on it now?
Yes, if you would make a motion to concur, and then we will need signatures on the packet so that we can return it to the taxpayer.
Okay, so this is concurring on the abatement request that we reject the application. The application.
Yep.
Okay, I could make that motion that the select board reject the motion for an abatement request by the aforementioned company on the particular plot of land that they identified. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion. Mike?
Okay, all in favor? This is Rich, aye.
Mike, aye.
Okay. moving on to the next piece of new business, the fiscal year 2021 capital projects planning schedule.
Yeah, sorry for the lengthy paragraph in the memo, but basically,
Not at all.
as I've been going through the applications and as we've been talking to abutting landowners, and we've had the chapel committee come in, and it just has become apparent that we need to have some time where you guys can review the CIP and we can start maybe prioritizing or verifying the priority list of projects the way we have them. And this would include department heads and staff to make sure that we have in the CIP what we want to have there. And then also to reach out, I don't think it's too early to reach out to the engineering firm, either HEB or one of the other ones that you have interviewed, and start going through the CIP and making some more definitive plans for what we're going to do in 21. I just think that, you know, we've got a lot of stuff on the CIP right now. We may want to make changes. We may want to just verify what we have there. But I think a lot has changed in the last 3 months, and we need to start considering what those changes might mean for the long term.
Okay, I think this is a great idea. As you said, we have some major plans coming up, major expenditures around the pond. We also have the experience of the dam and what that was like, and the impact that had or could have had on business community and Waterville Valley in general. So I think it's a great idea to review the CIP to see if we're meshing correctly with our current plans now that we've delayed for a bit of the Levitt Loop plans. We try to get our ducks in a row there financially. And also hoping to see what the major landowner, the Tyrell Corporation, is planning for the area. Those are my general thoughts. Mike, would you care to add anything?
I would take it in the reverse order you did, Rich.
Okay.
I would say that dialogues need to open up as soon as possible with Tyrell to see what their plans are before we really even know what our plans are. Mm-hmm. Because if they are going to come in and develop as extensively as everyone hopes they are, you know, that's going to drastically change what we're going to do, and maybe we can piggyback onto what they're going to do. So
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
it's good to look at this stuff, but I think we really need to get an idea of what they're going to do and when and how, for us to figure out what we're going to do. Because, you know, to waste effort, time, and money on things that might wind up moot because of their plans, you know, isn't the best way. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Mark.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Mike. And Tyrell did indicate to me last week that they're working on their master plan. So that may be a good point to start. So as soon as that's ready, let's get them in.
Or even in the formative stages, so we can get an idea of what they're thinking. We don't need it down to the fine print on this. It's just like, are they going to do this here? Where do they envision it being? And maybe we can work together as a complete community,
right,
to help plan the future of the town.
Good. All right.
Yeah, I mean, also to me, this is very much an issue of timing too, especially if we were to do things around the pond that would inevitably or potentially have to be undone because of construction. It's just a waste of money and time and trouble for something that we just didn't need to do it at that time. So what would be the best way to proceed at this point then, Mark?
Let's get them in as soon as we can and have a workshop and sit down with you and have the discussion and get started. And then we could lay out a schedule for when they think the plan will be finalized, their plan, and then we can start making are doing our review.
Great. You're thinking of something like September, October, that time frame, or earlier?
Well, even as early as the August meeting. if
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with early.
Or we could also schedule a separate workshop
Yeah,
to
right.
do this when it's convenient for them.
But I'll put
Yeah.
that out there and see when they'll be
Great.
ready to come in.
Right now, do we have any, as far as the CIP is concerned, at this point, do we have any, and I suspect the answer is no, but I just want to get it on the record, any drop dead dates that we got to be doing something now or relatively soon, but we're waiting for this discussion to occur?
Well, we definitely want to get back to the planning board if the selectmen want something reviewed by the planning board, because the CIP really, starts with them. So I would say no later than the September meeting, you should give your guidance to them.
Okay. Good, so we can potentially have our meeting with Tyrell ahead of that, and that'll help
Yes.
inform us as to how we want to proceed over the
That would be
near
the
term.
latest, especially if we want to get engineers involved for any more fine tuning on cost.
Yeah, I do like the idea. Coming back to that, I do think it would be very useful to bring an engineering firm in to help us wrap our heads around this in terms of maybe they can think of things. I think we talked about one thing not that long ago about some kind of access to the area, like the dam, that the town could have without having to destroy something or really inconvenience somebody. So yes, I think an engineering firm would be very helpful.
Okay.
Some kind of strategic plan. Mike? Good with it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will work on communicating that to them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I think once they understand our time constraints and our urgency with our budget situations and how we have to work, they might, actually, part of Tyrell are selectmen in other towns, so they
Yeah,
understand how this works.
they appreciate what you guys need to do. So
Yeah.
they've been on budget
Excellent.
committees and they've been on.
Okay, so shall we move on to the next item in new business?
Yeah, the next
Okay.
two items are informational, really.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
We are sending out the consumer confidence report. By the end of the week, we'll start getting those in the mail. That's the annual water system report that we have to send. Those are going out with a town newsletter, with information like the tip 411, the COVID update, and that sort of thing. So that should be in the mail quickly. And then item 7D, North Country Council is conducting a transportation survey. And that is not just for planning boards or selectmen, it's for anybody in the community. So we will post that on the town website and provide the link. And anyone in the community is welcome to go and take that. It's a survey about transportation opinions, about transportation within your community, within the region. Takes about 10, 15 minutes to take the survey at the most. So it's pretty simple. But North Country Council is just trying to gather more information from.
Can we put a link to our website, on our website to it?
Yes, we will.
And maybe through the rec department too?
Yep, we can get that out there. Yep. Just thought it's a good opportunity for people to give us their thoughts.
Very good. Anything else, Mark, on that, or Mike?
Nope.
Okay. So let's move on to the last item in new business, the warning concerning the abnormally low rainfall situation.
Yeah, so we received this email from DES that I put in your packet. And Jim, just jump in here if I say anything wrong and correct me.
Yep.
But basically, we are at a point where throughout the state, we are at abnormally low amounts of rain for this time of the year. Unfortunately, this is going into our dry season, so we are starting this year with a deficit of about 4 and a little over 4.5 inches. So we are definitely going to face, if not a severe drought, at least some kind of drought conditions probably through, by the time we get to August, would be my estimate. And we've got a couple of things that we need to consider here in Waterville Valley, I think, and that's, first of all, we are operating with only 2 out of our 3 wells online. So we're already starting at 67% of our normal water capacity. On top of that, we're about 29% low on rain. So we need to be careful. We don't need to do anything extremely drastic right now, but we definitely need to be careful as a community. And when the water bills go out, we will put a notice in the water bills telling folks about this. But we do need to be careful this summer with water. We are seeing people using quite a bit of water right now for irrigation purposes. Where right now we are producing about 20,000 gallons a day more than we are taking in at the wastewater treatment plant. So with a work week, that's 100,000, and 10 days later, it's 1 million gallons. So, or 10 weeks later, it's 1 million gallons. So it's it can be quite a bit of water that we're talking about. So the state, as part of their email, gave us a template for a water control regulation that when we get to a situation like this or into a drought situation, the selectmen can put some controls on use in. At first it can be voluntary and then it can be mandatory. I put a copy of the template in your packets. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, but I did verify with town council that you have the legal right to do this as the board and as a public water system. There is a process to do it where we would have to give at least 7 days notice that you were going to enact this ordinance, and then you hold a public hearing as part of your selectmen's meeting, and then you can enact the regulations. I did check the current town water and sewer regs, and in those existing regulations, the board reserved the right to do this sort of action where you can control water use to whatever, but there's nothing specific in our existing regulation that lays that out.
But we're not at that point yet, Mark. We're just under an advisory.
Well, we are, right, we're not necessarily at the point yet where you would want to put actual controls in.
We came close with how many years ago was it when we came close?
2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago?
And
yeah.
But I think having the regulation in place so that you can take the steps that are laid out in the regulation may be a good idea, because I don't know, Jim, if I'm reading too much into this, or if this is earlier than we have faced these type of situations before.
Well, I think it's earlier, but I think it warrants discussion right now, because it doesn't look in the long-term forecast that there's going to be any any weather to alleviate the problem, you know, in the next couple of weeks or even the long term. So, this hot weather is supposed to continue for the rest of, you know, well into the fall, according to what I've seen, so.
And the fact, yeah, and the fact that we're down the well and we only have 2 out of the 3 wells is another, you know, where we're really counting on those wells to be there. And it would not be a good situation if we lost one again.
You know, I see everything right about being prepared for imposing any restrictions, and then see how things develop. You okay with that, Mike?
Yeah, oh, without a
Yeah.
doubt. Let's pay attention to it. And do we have,
Yep.
in our system, we're constantly monitoring the level of the tank up at Snows Mountain, correct?
Correct.
All the time, yes.
So, and is that done electronically or manually?
Electronically.
And how much water would you say is in there, Jim? Is there 1 million gallons or close?
There is generally right around 900,000 gallons.
Yeah. And we've had no problems with that staying at that level, correct?
That's correct.
And we can also look to see that maybe with what's going on this summer, we're not going to have the amount of tourism and not have the amount of usage we're used to during peak summer.
That's true. I think the majority would be, the majority of the water use over and above domestic household usage and commercial usage would be in, there are several new lawns in town, and some of them are pretty big, and we've noticed that, you know, the watering there is quite extensive. I think.
Okay, so that's a new situation that we didn't have 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
Correct. And
Okay, so-
potentially we've got some more coming too, so.
Okay, so that's a good reason to look at this and put it in. So we have our usage has changed over the last 3 years to a not of necessity is becoming more.
That's right.
Okay,
The non-essential use, and I
Yeah.
think that's what we need to address, especially
Yeah.
so that you have the ability to step in if it's a public health issue.
right.
You've got
Now,
the ability to step in.
would a statewide water ban, if they're talking the whole state having this issue, would a statewide water ban supersede anything we would do, or take out the need for us to do it?
The state,
If the state came up and said that, hey, listen, we don't want people watering your lawns every day or something like that because we're in a drought.
well, I don't think the state ever says that. The state
Okay.
tells water systems that you need to start conserving. But I don't think that they mandate on a state level, do they, Jim?
I don't believe they do, but I don't know for a
Okay.
fact.
So we don't know the answer to that
It
question.
would have to be really bad if they were to do that, but I'll find out for sure.
I think,
Doesn't hurt to get ready.
right. And
Okay.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I think as part of the discussion, we ought to, everybody pretty much pays the same rate except for the commercial users, correct? For, no matter whether you use 100,000 gallons a month or you use 10,000 gallons a month. So everybody's kind of pretty much paying the same. There should be a discussion, I think, in my opinion, of an economic hit on
A kicker.
on certain users that are using it for non-essential purposes.
We started this a couple of years ago. We just never got around. It kind of dropped off. We dropped the ball on this because we had talked about this where we would figure out what a standard use was for a house with so many bathrooms, and then we would increase the rate over a certain amount.
Correct.
But we would have to start really reading the meters.
Oh, we do every
We
month,
do.
Mike.
Yeah.
We're reading.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, that seems like a good suggestion. I mean, very much in favor of people paying their way, if that's what it comes to.
Most,
We learned that with some leaks, because that's right, we're reading the meters, we found some houses that some leaks going on because their usage were just way above a norm.
that's correct.
Let's see if we can find a matrix someone has already that says that this is what you should be using, or maybe we could do it with our data. Someone has the capability to figure out what a standard usage is and then create a line where if you use over this, you pay for it.
Yep, we can do that.
Yep, I think that's an excellent idea. Mark, you mentioned that this morning, this notice of the abnormally low water situation, we'll be putting out a notice in the upcoming water sewer bill. When will that be? The next?
We will take the readings next week, and then the week after that, they'll go out.
Okay. Did we mention anything in your water department confidence report about the water situation? And you said you were going to include a little newsletter with that?
Unfortunately, we got this after we printed everything, so it is not in the CCR or the news.
Okay.
That's why I want to do the insert in the water sewer bill, because we had that all done.
All right. Anything else on this, Mike?
No, thanks.
Okay, so I believe that finishes new business. We can now turn to old business. The first item, I think we've discussed much of this update on summer, fall outdoor activities, but is there anything else we need to discuss on this topic, Sandra and Mark?
Sandra, we've gone over 4th of July. Any other items for summer outdoor activities if you want to bring up?
We are going to go ahead with the movies on Packard Field.
Okay.
So those will be Thursday evenings. And we consider a drive-in style movie or, picnic style. And I think that we've agreed on picnic style, and then are encouraging, families to bring snacks and lawn chairs and blankets and sit out on the field with respect to social distancing. And
Sandra, have you cleared it with the Golden Eagle to be able to let people use their parking lot? Because unless you police it, people will be using their parking lot.
okay, I will call Golden Eagle.
And first of all, see if they have any objection,
Right.
please.
And I guess the only other thing is the Ugata Regatta coming up in the first weekend of August.
Okay.
So,
We'll see where we stand with COVID at that point, right?
right, we haven't gotten there quite yet, but so far that's scheduled for August 1st.
Okay.
And I think other than that, that's it, besides what we've already been doing.
And are you planning on the fall road races? Are you still keeping those on the calendar?
Yep, so far that's still on the calendar. And again, we'll have to wait to see where we are with COVID by the end of the summer.
Okay.
Oh, we
Go ahead,
do,
Mark.
there's one other, we have the virtual road race that'll be beginning
Right.
here this weekend, right?
Yes, because we're coming up on July 4th. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there'll be a start finish line that you'll see on Village Road, a big banner that you will see on Village Road, and then there'll be markers on the 4-mile loop, on the outer loop of town. And then, so the idea is that this isn't a one day or one moment road race. It'll be over a 2-week period. People will be able to run the course, keep their time, and then submit the results to the race organizer, and it'll all be done online. So that'll be happening in town.
Okay. Anything else, Chris, Jim, anything on the outdoor activities, anything on special plan for either department?
Nothing
Nope.
I can think of.
Very good. All right, so we come to the Census 2020 update and the laggardly response. Is it
Just like
still
the-
laggardly, Mark?
They are still laggardly, so we just need to keep it on the agenda so that we can talk about it and urge people to go to the town website. Follow the Census 2020 links on there, and please make your presence known to the Census Bureau so you can be counted as being here in Waterville Valley.
In part of my daily routine, I'm going through condos. There are tons of these that have been tied to doors or brought inside, because a lot of the people have not been here.
Okay?
So,
At first, I thought you were daily going online and
yes,
signing
I'm
up.
filling out one each
Filling
day
them
with
out.
our card.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Vote early, vote often, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so please go on the census and sign up.
Okay. And grant applications, projects update.
Yeah, we've received notice. Everything's been approved for both the water and wastewater assessment projects. So the facilities assessments will be going on. We're just trying to schedule a date for the engineers to come in and start that work in both the water and the wastewater departments. So that's good. We have completed applications for both water and wastewater state revolving fund grant loan processes, and those are really backups for USDA. We're still waiting for the company to complete the income survey, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll reach the threshold, the 60% threshold that they need. I know that people have been responding, so
Good.
I just don't know if we're gonna get to the level that we need to. But if we cannot qualify for anything under USDA, we'll go to the state and try to use their grant loan programs. And we were notified today that our application for money for our childcare grant from the state for the summer camp programs is in process. They were supposed to have made a determination by tomorrow. They've extended that to Monday. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's about $53,000 that we could use as revenue towards summer camp programs. And just waiting for Northern Borders, so.
Okay. Mike, anything?
Nope.
Okay, let's move on then to board concerns and directives. Mike, do you have anything?
Nope.
No concerns, no directives.
You provided some guidance that you wanted. What was it you wanted to do?
Who, me?
On-street parking. You wanted to have us talk to Craig Larson.
Oh, yes, there was a note you had, right, I was.
Yeah. So we did talk to him about both winter and summer parking there. With regards to the summer parking, there's just not a good way to mark that area for people to park. It would be very confusing for us to have all these signs out that say no on-street parking, and then try to get them to park in that one area right across from the clubhouse. We explained that to Craig, and he seemed to be okay with it. We talked about the winter and the comments that everyone made at the last meeting, that in the winter it didn't seem like that that it was a bad situation at all. We could easily identify the area by plowing it a certain way, and Jim said that there was no adverse impact on public works. And Chris, you said that there was nothing public safety wise. So I know Mike had talked about not wanting to make this permanent by making it temporary for 10 years in a row. But I think maybe we try it one more year in the winter. And then.
No, Mark, that came out wrong my thought was not translated properly by that statement.
Oh, okay. What was your thought?
I didn't want to get into a thing like we did with the skate park. This wasn't specific to making it permanent by making it temporary or anything like that. I thought we just wanted to resolve it.
Oh, yeah, no, but,
Yeah.
okay, I said it incorrectly, but it's the same, that's the idea. I mean, what we did with the skate park was we kept giving them a 1 year
Extension.
but we finally had to come back and deal with it. So we don't want to get into that same situation. So if we're redesigning all of the roads in town, and this is an area that we can address when we come up with a permanent new solution to the paving issue and the pedestrian and bike path and all of that stuff. You know, I think making it another winter is probably, unless somebody has some other thought, I don't think it's a good idea to do it.
A thing that we need to think about with that, Mark, is Tyrell owns the other land over there.
No, if we keep it on the road side of the sidewalk.
Right, but on the other side is Tyrell's land, which could be, see what fits in with their plans as well. You know, that might, the other side of it, which is the other part of Green Peak condominiums.
Right.
You know, that we don't know what their plans are for that yet.
No, right, and I understand that, but what I'm saying is though that we don't go on their land to do the parking.
Oh no, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that they're gonna build a big parking lot there.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know, that's why it's the importance to meet with them and see what their plan is.
Right, I get it.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to pass on this in the summer for the reasons already mentioned, and certainly be very positively disposed to doing it again in the winter, because it seemed to work very well as a temporary measure. And then hopefully by this winter we'll have a better idea where things are going in some of Tyrell's plans, and what, if anything, we do want to do across the street from the golf clubhouse.
Okay, Chris, you have any problem doing that? Okay, Jim.
All right.
Okay with it?
I'm good.
Okay, good.
Okay, I just wanted to mention in this particular segment that in case others, and for the record, in case others on this meeting have not heard, the school board meeting last Thursday, the principal announced that they had 10 definite new students, a net addition of 10 coming in with 14 possibles. So we'll have to see how that works out, but go ahead.
Was that 10 new ones and 4 or 5 leaving for
10 net.
10 net?
10 net plus up of 10. Right.
Wow.
So as I understood it, that they're looking at 21 students.
Wow.
For next year, with possible addition of 14 on top of that. So we'll just have to see. But the bottom line is 21. Whatever was net or not, it's 21, and only one for high school, as far as the town is concerned at this point. They're planning to open on the 25th of August, but they're still awaiting some sort of guidance, instructions, recommendations from the state as to reopening and what school is going to be like. And that was about it. There was a lot of discussion at some point, actually. It raised a point in my mind. It would be interesting to have a great a demographic breakdown of the population of the town, since we seem to have increased. I don't know if we have the in-town capability of doing that, or whether we'd have to go out and hire someone. I'm not advocating for that, but I think it's something we should think about.
Well, theoretically,
Yeah.
we're gonna get an update on that information as part of the census.
Right,
But that's still 8-10 months away, but
right. If-
hopefully we can start to get that information.
I think we'll have a much better view of who lives here once school is back in session everywhere. Because I've
Yes.
spoken to a bunch of families who are using family homes here, who, if they go to social remote learning, will be staying here. I don't know if they're gonna be putting their kids in the Waterville schools, but they'll be remotely learning up here. They're in Massachusetts and Connecticut. So it's interesting times ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Mike. And what was also rolling around in my head was all these assumptions, stories we're hearing about why people are moving here, as to do with school or COVID or trying to explain the rise in numbers, et cetera, et cetera. And it would be nice to have some kind of scientific or statistical analysis to help us better understand for our future planning what type of town we are becoming in this new era. At some point, again, I'm not advocating we do something right away, but something to think
There's some
about.
I'm seeing this summer, which I think will be remarkable and very good for the town if they continue through the fall.
Yeah.
But that's the big if, and we're living in a world of if right now.
Yep. More iffy than usual.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we do not have any monuments in town. That's all I'll say about
Well, there's one outside of my window. If they start pulling down the stone tower,
that.
Oh, please.
I think I join him in that. I'm
Hey,
kidding.
hey,
Just kidding.
that's our history.
hey, speaking of that, Jim, if you have guys doing trees there's a dead one in there that's gonna come down and take out a lot more.
See what I can do.
Good. All right. So,
I have 2 alibis I just wanted to update you on.
all right, have at it.
Tax collections, we are doing very well with relation to the first tax bill that went out. As of right now, we have a balance to collect over the next 10 to 15 days of about $460,000. That is the way taxes come in, especially from the banks with the escrow accounts. The 460 is definitely doable over the next 10-day period for the rest of the month. And so I would expect that our collections are going to be at or very close to what we historically do.
Good.
So that's good. And then I sent you a separate email earlier this
Yes.
afternoon
Right.
with the nonprofit budget requests.
Yes.
And if you're all right, I'll disperse that money. It's within the budget.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Everything there is fine.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's
All right, good. All right, we'll get those paid.
There's one thing I meant to ask Sandra. Have you folks come up with discuss a theme for the parade?
Oh, she did mention it. Go ahead.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry, I missed it. I must have been fighting my cat.
Heart of our community.
The heart of our community?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a good one to me.
Like that? Okay.
I'll take
I
it.
heart Waterville Valley, right? Right, Sonia?
Yeah. That's it.
Very good. Okay. If that's it with board concerns and directives, any correspondence you'd like to?
I had the two pieces of correspondence that I provided in the packet. The first one was from Steve Hamilton on your question. Well, not your share,
Right.
on the article.
Right. And yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
that was good. Again, we're getting great support from Whitney Consulting for assessing. That's just going.
Excellent.
really well.
Yeah. Good. And it was good news generally, I thought, but fingers
Yeah.
crossed. We'll have to see.
Yeah. And then I thought it was an interesting article from the New Hampshire Business Review. One of many. Do you guys get copies of the NHBR?
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, good. So there's a lot of great material in the recent one, right? Including this post office
Issue.
or post office article. So
Right.
just the fact that we run a post office, it's kind of, so far they have continued to pay us for our satellite post office, so. That's
Okay.
all I had.
Mark, I have one thing.
Yes,
Reggie sent me an email. This is from the Historical Society, and she
Yeah.
said, she says the Waterville Valley Historical Society would like to thank the Board of Selectmen for the $5,000 grant. The money will be well spent. They plan on having an archivist consultant spend about a month in the valley this summer to work on the collection. And they'd also like to thank the board for all your hard work, and she said, stay well.
Excellent. Very nice.
Okay.
So I don't see this on the agenda, but should we have a privilege of the floor number 2? Is there anything come in?
Yeah, that should be the only thing.
Okay. So I believe the next agenda item is non-public session. So would somebody, perhaps Mike, like to make a motion?
Mark, you have something for non-public?
I do have 2 quick things.
Okay, I will make a motion that we go into non-public session at 4:12.
And this is Rich. I second that motion. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate your attendance, and we'll see you on the 15th of July.
Very good. Thank you.
Do I stop the video?
No,
No,
you
no,
stay